All right, right. Now the good stuff happens. We're going to record this. Super excited to be with you. Thanks everybody for joining. Big shout out. Hi, Faye and Richard. Thanks for sharing stories, by the way, at the beginning. I'm going to tell you, you want to simplify your business. You want to simplify your building. You want to simplify your teaching. Tell great stories, right? You want to have great dinner conversations, storytelling, right? Hi, Sue. Great to see you. Whoever is iPhone, we have the iPhone with us, the iPhone, not just an iPhone, the iPhone. Who's on iPhone today, by the way? Who is that? I see you waving. I see one like one of the minions in the background. Is that a minion pillow or a unicorn pillow? There's a unicorn pillow. Oh, there's all kinds of stuffed animals there. You look comfy. You look absolutely comfortable. Hey, Beverly, good to see you. Hey, Darlene, Carolee, Gabe or Jill Pearson, good to have you here. Always great to have Master Pro Tens in the house. Jane, great to see you. I do have to give a shout out, just as we're starting this, this team huddle today, for our leaderboard. So Darlene Sorensen has retaken the #1 position. She is #1 on the CEO Pro app right now for new person engagement, right? This is kind of like the invite. She's at 30. So she's averaging one every other day. And she is #1 right now in the nation. Actually, I should say in North America. So massive congratulations, Darlene, for being #1 again. You've been on just an incredible rock star tear since about the last week of December, right? When we started talking about the top 10 and whatnot. I will tell you who's in the top 10. Darlene at #1, Warren Maybe. I'm going 2 and on. #3, Marjorie Ham. #4, Bruna Pallone. #5, Jacob Blackburn. #6, yours truly, Stephanie Mulder. #7, there she is. She just joined. Liliane Merida, #7 on the leaderboard. #8, May Salavia. She's in Japan. #9, Florence La Roca. And in at #10, we got a 2-way tie here. Lily Peterson and our very own Richard Langenheim. Congratulations. Thanks for being there. By the way, we have the 2021 awards that were, the top 25. I just got 15 through 25 awards in today. They're in my hands, so they start shipping. I'll do some social media on it, but my little social media piece on that is not your social media piece. Make sure that when you get your awards, make sure when you get your Rockstar Award, that you have an unveiling party, right? That you make a reel out of it, right? And all of this, we might be thinking what I'm talking about right now is independent of what we're going to talk about today on Team Huddle. But what I'm talking about right now is exactly what we should be talking about and doing when we talk about the Team Huddle for I was about to say season 6, what is it? It's week 6, right? Lesson 6, season 6, episode 6. Make sure that you take these awesome experiences that you're having and make them into content, right? I know that Richard reached out to me. Richard is one of the top 10. I'm still waiting on those awards to come in, by the way. But Richard's planning on coming over to my house. Richard, is that still the plan? Okay.
Absolutely.
Richard lives in Utah. He's about 2.5 hours from me. And he's like, Seth, I want you to award me. I want you to award me my award. Is that okay? In fact, I'm gonna expose the process here. Richard said, I know I shouldn't ask, or something like, I know it's a lot to ask, or I know I shouldn't probably ask, or and I said, what did I say?
You said
that's
stop.
Right, Lily.
Yeah, you said stop.
I said stop. I said that's a fabulous idea. That is brilliance. It's a brilliant idea. Hey, Seth, I want you to come over. And I said, great. The answer is no, unless you ask me the right way.
That's right, you did.
Yeah, I did say it. I said, no, unless you recant and say something like, hey, I had this great idea. You want to be a part of it or something like that.
Yeah, in essence, and that was great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the
So
depth
those awards are
retraining.
coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a matter of recognizing that. I will tell you, Daisy Goodwin. Daisy was the first person to earn any Rockstar Award. She earned the Pro 3 Rockstar Award. The very first person, and you know what? She made a reel for it. She made a reel for it. I've seen it. Do you know that she had something like 8 new customers from that? 8 sticking customers.
Wow.
Do you know that she had a platinum pack coming from that? Do you know that I met that gentleman in Orlando, Florida, because he came to Orlando, Florida after he enrolled? And do you know that he'd been following her, by the way? And this is all what we're going to be talking about today, the meat of the lesson. Okay, this is a perfect intro. Do you know that he'd been following her for years? And then he, on that post, could have been any other post, by the way. There's no magic one post. But the magic one post is the post that you made today, by the way. That's the magic one post. The magic was that you did the post today, okay? But he's like, what is this rock star stuff or whatever? You know, she was holding up her award, you know, and it was a little simple, whatever, minute video or whatever. If you haven't seen it, we'll share it. But in the meantime, the fast way to see it is go find Daisy Goodwin, Daisy Shane Goodwin on Facebook. Scroll back to December-ish, November, December, and just look at her really simple reel. She, you know, Instagram story, Facebook story, and put it in as a Facebook reel. And she has brand new team member, man. Pretty cool, huh? So anyway, that's the preamble today. We're going to jump in the next half hour. This is our team huddle for week 6 of the ICan Institute. ICan sell and recruit. I can sell and recruit. I want to bring you back to why you're in this class. Drop it in the chat box. Why are you here in this class? We all made a goal, and I'm gonna model this. I made a goal. The reason I was taking this class, like, why am I here? Why do I need to show up? Why do I need to play all in? And I was here to, I'm gonna type it and then I'll say it. I was here to double my recruiting. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm taking this 10-week class. Notice that I got really specific there. It's not that I just want to be a better recruiter. What does that mean? Better is anything, you know, over where I am right now, which that's positive. But that's why I'm here. So I'd love for everybody to bring you back to center, right? If we're doing the yoga kind of approach, bring you back to what's important, and frankly, to start with the end in mind. Why are you here? What do you want this class to help you do? Okay, Beverly, I want to be a master recruiter. I love that. Richard, to get to Pro 3 and then Pro 5. Okay, that's what this class, you're going to utilize this class to get to, right? Awesome. Love it. Those are great. Everybody else, please take some time to remind yourself of why you're here and what you want to accomplish. I just want to do a quick, for those who may, for those who aren't on the Huddle Live, maybe, and those who are maybe picking this up, or maybe somebody on our team is watching this recording because it's going to be up later today, and they're saying, what is this ICan stuff, right? Are there people on our team who are like, who could possibly be asking this question legitimately? What is the ICan stuff? 100%. Welcome to leading a team. What you know is not necessarily what your team knows. And you are duplicating. But the question is, what are you duplicating? And here's how you know what you're duplicating. Look at your team. That's what you're duplicating, right? You've got to set the example, but then you have to, when you're organizing and creating something, you have to watch it. And when I say watch it, I don't mean sit on your butt and watch it solely, but you have to watch it until it's complete. You have to watch these forces that you put into motion until they obey, right? It's kind of like some deep theological doctrine, actually, But what are you duplicating right now? It's whatever your team's doing. So if you need to make changes, you need to make changes until you see those things happening. So I'm kind of doing this little bit right now for all of those who have no idea what in the heck we're doing. I can sell and recruit class. What, there was a class, I missed it? Yes, you missed it. Well, you didn't start it with us, but you didn't miss it. How about that? So we're taking the I Can Sell and Recruit class. My personal mindset coach, Deb Erickson, who owns the ICan Institute. This is one of a number of classes that she puts on, which I'm telling you, this is the best stuff I've seen in 30 years in the industry. This is the absolute best investment of my money and time to become a master of the industry. Okay, a master of the universe, right? So duplicatable, so affordable, it's just the best. So we are on week 6. In week 0, we did kind of an introduction, a reality check. We took a pre-class evaluation to kind of find out, where are your numbers? How are you recruiting? How is your selling? How are your reach outs? How are your IPAs? How are you doing at getting new leads? Okay. And then week 1, we talked about creating the mindset, an ICan mindset when it comes to selling and recruiting. Week 2, one of my favorite lessons, we talked about lead generation, finding new leads, right? I can tell you over the years, that's definitely one of the top 10 questions I've ever been asked. How do I find new people, right? Or how do I find new people after I've run out of people? You've never run out of people, right? Because that leads to lesson 3, which was about lead nurture. Lesson 4, lead qualification. Last week, lesson 5, lead conversion. And then week number 6, top of mind marketing. Top of mind marketing. And so we're going to jump in and talk about what we learned this week. So I'm going to turn it over to you who are on my co-facilitators today. Okay. And I mean that if you're in our meetups, you know what that means. You know, that means you're a leader. Okay. Step up. It's your responsibility, your opportunity, your privilege, and absolutely necessary if you want to grow a team, that you got to be a leader. So what I would love to know is, we've been talking about, well, let me ask you this. Is anybody a little confused? I'm honestly a little confused right now, because last week was the power of, is anybody else confused? Last week on lesson 5, we were talking about, I'm flipping my pages here. We talked about, maybe I'm the only one making this mistake, lead conversion, but we talked about types of buyers, I thought. And then this week it's on top of mind marketing, but didn't she talk about scripts? Am I the only one who missed this, or somebody set me straight? Well, I get a bag.
I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit confused also. I'm just really confused also, because I thought that we were talking about scripts this week.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, and last week I thought we were talking about like the types of buyers, tightwads, and all of that. And I don't know where we're at.
Okay.
On 6.
Okay. Then thank you.
No,
Beverly,
I'm on the same line as you are, Seth, because of what I was able to review on the lesson 6 is the facts that the topics that you've just mentioned in regards to sum it up in simple words, how we keep our awareness among our target audience at a very high level, so we don't find ourselves in situations of surprise that they join the company with somebody else. Is that what you were mentioning that you heard today on lesson 6?
okay, great. So it's not just me. We're all on the same page. I think what we're seeing here is, at the beginning, I was going off the table of contents, like on page 3 or something. And I think it's just a typo. Okay. I think it's just a typo. Lesson 6, we did talk about the power of scripts and top of mind marketing. So we're going to stick with that. Okay. So what did you learn? What's one of your big ahas from this week? Go ahead and unmute your line. We'll go to Richard first. What's one of your big ahas as you've reviewed lesson 6, being top of mind? You want to be on people's top of mind. We talked about scripting as well. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, top of mind. I have 3 people. One that I contacted over a year ago said no. And he saw, you told me about how you knew your content, you know, like I had the e-card thing and I kept redoing content. So I started talking about depression, and he gets in touch with me and he says, hey, I want this stuff. Yeah. And this is like, yeah. And like, this is like a year later. And then another lady also saw what I had posted, and she flat out told me no last June. She gets in touch with me and she says, I'm ready to buy this stuff. I see what it's done for you. Both of these people know me, and they've seen, well, for one, I don't sleep in church anymore, right? I got the energy. But no, but they've seen my hiking, they've seen my posts, they've seen all this stuff. And now they're taking notice and they're going, oh, wait, Richard told me about yada, yada, yada back in the dinosaur ages. And now I'm ready to buy this stuff. And one of them's a dentist, the other one's a realtor. And then another lady just out of the blue that I contacted last September, same thing. She contacts me and she says, my husband said that this protanum stuff is voodoo, but she says, I've seen you, and I know this stuff works. I've seen the PubMed reports and everything, and I'm ready to buy. And she's bought. Yeah, the other two are just waiting to get their money, which is going to happen soon. But anyway, I just thought that was pretty cool.
Wow. 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 I want to welcome Florence, ICan, and David Uko from Nigeria. They're actually a part of Florence La Roca's team. Florence has been doing a lot of international stuff, and she's got some incredible, amazing leaders. So welcome. Good to have you from across the Atlantic with us. Richard, thank you for sharing that story. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Glad to
Glad to be here too. I'm
Awesome.
glad to be here.
We are so glad that you're here today with us. We're talking about a class
Thank
that we're
you.
taking. Thank you, Florence. We got double flow with us today. Double the flow. Richard talks about something really important here, being top of mind. And I want to ask you this question. How did he stay top of mind with these people? Somebody besides Richard. I'm going to ask anybody but Richard to answer this question as you're thinking about it. Go ahead, Flo. Puerto Rico, Flo.
It's great. And this is the universe working aligned with our frequency. Okay, it has to do with Nigeria. My aha moment is that I did a presentation to somebody from Nigeria that lives in Ireland, that's married to somebody from Germany 2 weeks ago. And this contact was referred by somebody that lives in Nigeria, that is a distributor under David Yuko. So I did the presentation and I did the follow-up that we all know. And they did not reply, but I kept on sending, not bombarding them with just what we need to send. And my aha moment is that when I sent them the last information, all of a sudden I get a report that another distributor has enrolled under one of the distributors of David Yuko. So I'm just confirming with all of you that Charles Jacob, a distributor of David Yuko in Nigeria, kept his awareness and my awareness also with two prospects. This couple that they're from Nigeria and she's from Germany. And because of just awareness and a presentation, they enroll. That was one of my aha moments, that we kept our awareness going and they decided to join the company. So now we're doing everything that we do as leaders when they join the company. The other aha moment that I had, and that just happened today, is that through a social platform, I was invited by an entrepreneur in Puerto Rico to assist a group of uncommon entrepreneurs to a meeting. So I went there, we met, we talked, And then we started sharing information. I would keep on inviting her to our CEO meetups. I also sent her, why don't you join the ICan Institute and join the free so you start practicing on the narrow tools? And this is about 3 weeks ago. So 2 days ago, my aha moment is that I get a message from her and say, I want to join what you're doing. When can we meet? And to me, that is all a result of keeping my awareness high with them, with the right tools that I use from ICan Institute and also the CEO app. So I wanted to share that. So I'm very
Love it.
excited of what has happened today.
That's Lawrence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. Sue, you were going to make a comment.
I was going to answer your question about Richard. My guess is, since I'm not a friend of Richard, but know him from all these different meetups and the ICANN things, is that he's posting, he's consistent. And so that's how he's at the top of people's mind. I mean, if I know who he is, then other people know who he is because he's saying who he is. And that's all you need to do.
So powerful. Yes, Darlene.
And also I see Richard as being real and being relevant.
Totally. You might, top of mind means that they know who you are. I'm going to repeat kind of some of these amazing things that you said. They know who you are, what you do, what you offer, how you can help them, right? And there's a level of trust there, right? In fact, maybe I'll just go back to what we always talk about, the know, like, and trust factor, right? If you want to be if you want to be bottom of mind, if you want to be bottom of mind, bug people to death, right? If you want to be bottom of mind, which is basically people don't want to be around you, try to arm wrestle, push, annoy, right? Stalk, don't listen, objectify people. So being top of mind means that they need to know you, like you, and trust you. We're coming back to the same thing we do when we're finding people, right? New leads and nurturing leads comes back into this. When they're not ready, we want to be top of mind. And just like Sue said, and I think this is such a great insight, Richard's present. You're not going to be top of mind if you're not present, right? Now, look how amazing. CEO is coming into play right here, creating entrepreneurs online, right? Who are you? Who are we underneath our skin, right? Who are we down low? Down there, right? You got to be present. This is one reason. This is just one of those very simple reasons. How can you be top of mind if you don't have a channel that's active? How can you be top of mind if you don't have a Facebook or Instagram story, either or both, I don't care, choose one platform. I mean, there are like 7 platforms right now. Do not expect that you're going to be rocking and rolling, in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Oh, I guess we're not doing Snapchat anymore, are we? You know what I'm saying? Twitter, whatever, like start with one if you're struggling, but be present on that one. So being present is so important. So they know you, right? So you're there, and then you work on the like factor and the trust factor. But Richard, love that. Anybody else want to comment on that? An insight that you've had or on Richard's experience? Yeah, go. Flo.
I wanted to share, about Richard. Like, why do I connect with Richard and what I see in Richard and why his awareness in my mindset is so high? Because whatever he posts, I can relate to that. He makes what he does fun. So I find it that I'm attracted to that. So I think that's one of the key messages in our branding as a leader, that we always have to focus on. Try to make it, the people can, your ideal customer, developer, business leader can identify with you and say, I love that. That's what Richard is doing. I just wanted to say that.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right. Anybody else? What's what takeaways did you have from this week's lesson?
I don't have any because I'm behind 1 week. That's why I'm being quiet.
You're behind a week. That's okay. Lillian, what takeaway did you have from last week? From the week that you're working on? I know you're on lesson 5. That's
Yeah, I absolutely loved the discovering, what type of person you're talking to, and that 65%, which is a lot of people, are in that middle where we need to ask the right questions and don't waste time on the naysayers that don't like, either they're tight with their money or they don't like network marketing. And there's lots of people in that middle group that we want. And I think that that part about what are the concerns and is just brilliant to be able to do that and ask some questions and then discover if it's someone that you want to pursue or not. And if not, I think it ties back, because I love what we've made that like it's not an inside joke. It's just, we always say, like, oh, she doesn't have a bleeding neck. She doesn't have a bleeding neck, not a bleeding neck yet. And then all of a sudden someone goes like, oh, her neck was bleeding. So, because it's what happened to Richard, right? They 2 years, 5 years, whatever. They didn't have a bleeding neck. Now they have a bleeding neck. And it could be also, that drippy of him, being present on social media and all of that. I think it all ties in, and there's no one magical way. It's just, if you're consistent, some of these people that we feel like fall through the cracks or they're not right, they'll come back. Like it's almost beautiful because they come back on their own, because now they're asking him like, hey, I want what you have. So, but I think for the day-to-day, when we want to, recruit new customers and distributors, finding, what questions to ask and being able to focus our time on those that are in that 65%, in the middle.
I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And the more I take this class, and by the way, Lillian, you bring up a point that I'm facing, right? And some of you are like ahead. I think like you're chomping for the next lesson. I'm working really hard to keep up, and it's not a lot of curriculum. I was supposed to be taking another class, ICan Rank Advance, a master class with 20 other people on our team, and I just dropped the ball. Like, taking one class is about just the perfect amount. But I want to allay any fear. Like, if you feel like you get behind, guess what? You can catch up on your own, right? This is not the one time that we're going to do this class. In fact, how many of you I thought about this today. How many of you are finding that, based on what you've experienced over this 5 weeks that we've been doing this, 6 weeks, that you could turn around as soon as we finish this, we're another month away. As soon as we finish this, how many feel like you could turn around? We could go back to week 1, start the whole process over, and you'd still be learning and getting a ton out of this class, right? I totally feel like that. I mean, I would be surprised if there's any one of us that has done every one of these worksheets and it's perfect now, right? That you totally understand yourself and totally understand your mindset, and you totally understand every one of your raving fans, their demographics, their psychographics, their key points, their pain point. You know what I'm saying? Consider this introductory. I know some of you, this is the second time you've taken this, right? It's the second time I've taken it, but I'm getting way more than I did out of the first time because I'm getting a lot more done. So allow yourself some grace and just, enjoy the journey. Yes, Lillian.
And what I found out is that the first time I took it, I didn't finish. I think I did up to lesson 4. No, I think I did do lesson 5, but I at least it wasn't marked as complete. So I think I kind of dropped the ball and didn't finish the whole thing. So I think it's important. And, you know, thinking back, you know, I teach people with the dog training, and I can't tell you how many times I repeat the same thing over and over. Like I do something in one class and we're going to do the next class. And I say, who remembers blah, blah, blah. And I get these like blank, like, I know, like there's nothing in there. Like they have no clue what I'm saying. And then after repeating it maybe like 10 times, and it makes me think to that, you know, the 7 touches, the 9 touches, then someone might say, yeah, you know, that means blah, blah, blah. So I think it's the same for us in learning this material. It's a lot of material, and it's simple, it's well organized, it makes a lot of sense, which makes it easier to understand and to kind of retain it. But still, it's a lot of stuff plus everything else we're doing. And I think just doing it over and over until it finally, you know, sinks in. And these discussions are great because sometimes things that, you know, don't really click, and we clarify them here. And I think it does a lot of good. But so one of the things, because I think that is one of my weak points, is what questions to ask. So I would love for us to get together and, you know, with that 65% person that we're looking, that average person is do like we do the scripts, like, you know, questions to ask. And so to give us some ideas, right, of, you know, what do you ask people to dive in, dig in a little deeper, so that we can get them to a yes sooner by asking the right questions.
Totally agree. I totally agree. We need to do that. We need to do that. We need to set, and maybe we'll make, you know, we'll make some evaluations as we're wrapping up this class, and ideally, hopefully we're doing some of that on the team huddle. What I do want to do today, we are going to jump into some of these scripts. Anybody else want to, before we get into the scripts, anybody else want to talk about top of mind? Any other comments before we move on? I do have a top of mind story, and I'm going to tell you because volume from this person dropped in my account today. 227 PB from a customer. I'll tell you that story in a minute, but anybody else want to talk about top of mind? Any questions you've had? Any ahas about what we've been doing in lesson 6?
Well, I really like this lesson, top of mind. I think that we should spend a little bit more time on this because there's just so much that we could talk about on this lesson. I like the fact that Richard is top of mind because he's posting every single day. I've had people reach out to me and say, oh, I've been watching your posts and following you. And I love that. And searching for more areas to be top of mind. The nurturing, I know, is, you know, whenever you keep that conversation going, we're pretty much top of mind. But that's all I wanted to say about this. I really do like the thought about whoever's top of mind is who people are going to be thinking about whenever they do have a bleeding neck.
Absolutely. And if you don't, hey, Carolee, good to see you.
Hey.
If you are off the table, right, out of sight, somebody finish it for me. Out of sight,
Out of mind.
Out of mind.
out of mind, right? Out of sight, out of mind. And this is one of the amazing things about being an online entrepreneur. How much does it cost you? How much in advertising are you paying right now to post on Facebook every single day? How much? What's your advertising budget? Zero.
I want to
How
say
much are you
something when
paying to get Instagram coverage? Zero. LinkedIn, zero. Right? And now you can do paid advertising and pay-per-clicks and targeted ads on there as well, you know, but you know, I have however many friends you have. I have 5,000. I'm maxed out on friends. And what I notice is my post gets to about 5 to 10% of them, maybe, right? Maybe, but 5% of people, I'm reaching 250 people every single day. About the potential to reach. This is crazy. Yesterday on my, and this is out of the, this is a little high. I'm just taking a look. So on my Facebook stories, I'm averaging about, oh goodness, get up all these windows off here. I'm averaging, I don't know, maybe somewhere depending on the story, depending on the day, you know, I'm just looking at like my page one of my stories, right? Yesterday, day before yesterday, 196 people on that one. And again, these are my numbers. They don't have to be your numbers, right? I've got 5,000 friends. Maybe you have, you know, 200. You're managing your numbers, but 88 on that post, 172 on that story, 86 on that one, 160 on that one, 104. So right, 100 to 200. Yesterday, I posted up on my story, my fat lip. If any of you saw my fat lip picture, 489. I have 489 people looked at that story, and I did 3-page story, right? So I had that one, and then the basketball one, and then the next basketball one. And I still had 316 people who watched that, the 3rd page, right, of my stories. Yeah, Faye, I'm talking about Facebook story, right? My Instagram story, which is different than a post, right? Posts are static. They stay there forever. Stories are time sensitive. They only last 24 hours, right? And so you ideally want to be doing both, right? Basically, the way I imagine it is, imagine like I'm going to give you ideal, like I'm going to raise the bar for most of you. Okay. Sue, I'm spending more time on stories right now, and I need to improve on my posts. Okay. Why? To stay top of mind. And I'll tell you why. Based on the latest information I've heard from my social media, you know, gurus and people that I look up to and follow, I never want my stories, right? Instagram or Facebook, right? I do them together, so they're always running at the same time. I never want those to expire, because if they expire, guess what? Is that going to lessen my top of mind score? Yeah, it is. If people know that I do what I do, I'm in the health world, or I'm in the entrepreneurial recruiting world, and I'm not talking about recruiting every single day, but they know what I do, but they see me every single day. Imagine that. Imagine the power of somebody seeing you every single day, doing what you do, getting up. Like, you start to trust that person. Even if you saw them at the grocery store every single day, there would something psychologically change in your mind, and you start to know, like, and trust that person more, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like if I owned a cooking show and you saw me at the grocery store, no, at the farmer's market every single day buying fresh vegetables, you're going to come to my restaurant. You're going to follow my show because you know that I'm the real deal, right? I'm top of mind. So never, you know, one of the goals I have is I never want to let my stories go dead, right? And so ideally, again, you're going to have to increase your speed if you want to get here. You know, I'm starting to look at, what if I start posting stories 3 times a day instead of once? So in other words, I do a set, and then, you know, 8 to 12 hours later, I do another set, and then 8 to 12 later, I do another set, right? What do I mean by a set? A set is 1 plus pages. I personally like multiple pages in a set, and that's because I like to see who's following my whole story. Do you know what I'm saying? If I only put up 1 page on my story, then I'm only, you know, I don't get as good of an idea about how much time they're spending watching me. Like, I can flip through stories like this. I can scroll, swipe. I'm seeing that 1-page story, right? But if I'm tapping takes me to the next page of the same person's story. And if I'm tapping through and I'm watching, I'm spending more time with that person. So I like to put 2, 3, 4, sometimes it's 10, right? But don't overload yourself. But let's just say 3, okay? I like to put 3 stories in a little, you know, in a session. I'll call it a session. That way I see the 486, like this is yesterday. 486 watched my my fat lip. 373 watched my first basketball video, and 316 watched the second basketball video, or the 3rd page of the story, right? 1, 2, 3. So it went from 486 to 316. Now, I don't worry about the gap. I don't worry about it. I don't play psychology. I don't worry. Oh, no. What I think is awesome. Do you know how many people stayed around to watch 3 of my, to spend 30 seconds with me, right? Each of them are about 10 seconds. 316 people checked me out for 30 seconds, right? And then I go to that list and I start, and I see who's watching me. And then those are the people that I reach out to and that I start conversations with, even if they didn't like me, even if they didn't even say anything. I say something, hey, Richard, just wanted to reach out and say, thank you for watching, for supporting my IG Instagram stories today. Super appreciate your support and encouragement. He's like, I didn't even comment, but I'm thanking him. You're going to say something on that, Richard?
Yes. Funny story. I'm down at City Creek, right, in Salt Lake. I went in to get my parking ticket validated in the Cheesecake Factory, and this guy comes up to me, and I don't know this guy, and he goes, Richard, I love your hiking stuff. And I'm going, is that good? And my wife's like, we're both laughing because he'd seen that. I always try to tie the hiking into the health thing and everything because it's related. But that's what I wanted to tell you. This guy out of nowhere, he saw me.
Okay, so let me ask you this, folks. When it comes to hiking, when it comes to this gentleman who is in Salt Lake, right? Richard lives 2 hours away, well, hour and a half, 2 hours away from Salt Lake, by the way. Okay. It's a little bit of a drive up a canyon, up to a lonely but beautiful valley in Cache Valley, Utah. Okay. Who right now, if we were to ask that guy, if that guy were on a game show, if that guy were on The Price is Right, okay, if that gentleman in Salt Lake that Richard met at the mall in downtown Salt Lake were on a game show and they were asking about who do you know, who's the most active person you know in the world of health and hiking, who's top of mind? Richard Langenheim. Now, I don't care that he's top of mind on health or pro tandem or depression or whatever. He's top of mind on hiking because that's what this guy's tuning into. That's where his hot button is. That is brilliant. So, Richard, I love that. So anyway, what I was saying is stories. Keep your stories going. Okay, they expire in 24 hours. Then what I'll do, right, is I'll take some of those posts and put some of that content and put it into a static post, right? So some of the best of my, let's just say, now I'm not meeting this standard, right? I'm giving you a standard that I'm striving to get up to. If you go look at my Facebook and Instagram posts, I'm not getting on my static posts, my timeline as much as I want to. I'm letting a lot more time go through because I am spending time on stories. But let's just say if I did 2 stories a day, I don't mean 2 pages. I said 2 stories. So let's say 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And at 8 a.m. I did 1, 2, 3 pages, right? And at 8 p.m. I did 1, 2, 3 pages. That means that, and by the way, if I'm doing one at 8 a.m. and somebody watches it, and then I do one at 8 p.m., you know what Facebook's going to tell them? It's going to show them my new story, right? So it's like, now what if somebody isn't seeing me once a day, but they're seeing me twice a day, right? Or they're seeing me 3 times a day, right? I'm becoming an authority in their life. They're watching me. Could we have ever done that before social media? I'm telling you this. I hope conversations like this are blowing your mind when it comes to, oh, I just got to get on the social media. No, this is powerful. You own a media channel and people are tuning in to Beverly, and people in Salt Lake City are tuning in to Richard Langenheim, the Alps hiker, right? The Alps hiker. So imagine I do 2 stories a day, 3 pages each, and I'm going to choose one of them. Let's just say I'm going to choose one of them to stay as a static post. And so I'm going to take that content maybe the next day and I'm going to roll it into a static post. Why? Well, if somebody's following me because of what I do with horses or what I do with kids, what I do with cooking, and they see me on my stories, and then they go to maybe they want to see that again. Maybe they want to see the basketball thing again. So I'm going to push all 3 of those stories together into one post and drop it into my static post. Did I have to create a whole bunch of new content for that post? No, I'm reusing, I'm recycling, okay? Recycling content. Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. talking about being top of mind. I had a woman, and this is a mindset thing. This is a God thing. And this is a top of mind thing. It's all of those. And when these situations happen with you, I hope that you will just say, like, breathe in and just say, I expected that, right? I've heard some of us say, you're not going to believe this. You better believe this, right? I've heard some people say, oh my goodness, this person, I just sponsored this person. I just sponsored my ideal customer. I can't believe this. What am I going to say? Stop. Don't say, I can't believe this. Don't stop the flow. You better believe this. Okay. This is how it's supposed to happen. But I don't know, about 6 weeks ago in January, I woke up to a message one day that said, hey, Seth, actually, some of you know this woman. She's actually, spoiling the story. This woman is actually now a part of CEO Women, and she's already building a team. And he said, hey, Seth, isn't this perfect? We're talking about top of mind. You were on my mind. I'm thinking, man, I feel like I'm literally texting this. Maybe I should read this message in a Willie Nelson. You were always on my mind, right? Hi, Seth. You were on my mind when I woke up. I checked out your Facebook page, see all the multiple things happening. There's a God thing there. There is what am I doing in the universe? I'm pushing my energy out into the universe right now. Hi, my name's Seth Mulder, and I inspire women who inspire women. My mission is to liberate and free the women of the world by giving them opportunity, a coach, and a big cheerleader. And I'm putting that there, and God answered it. I didn't, it just happened. I was on her mind. I checked out your Facebook page. Aha. So she didn't come to me because she's been following me. She came to me out of something literally like pure energy and inspiration, right? Wow. That's metaphysical right there. I'll be talking about that at Ascend. For those of you who don't know, I just got asked to be one of the keynote speakers for Ascend. So I'm super honored and excited to represent all of you. I checked out your Facebook page and I found information about a yellow pill. I read the website and I would like to order 1 bottle to see how that does in my body. Do you have a link to your site where I can purchase? Isn't this beautiful? I can so believe this. I can so believe this. I put in a friend request also. And check this out. I mean, talk about I'm telling you, this is my avatar board, right? This is my avatar board of who I'm attracting. I am waking up from several years of just turning the crank. Thanks for being you. Oh yeah, if you don't remember, we met through blah, 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 another network marketing company that I quit in 2009. I have not talked to this woman since before 2009, because I quit that company in February, in February of 2009, I think it was, okay, or January 2009. So I haven't talked to that woman since 2008, folks. And this, by the way, what I'm reading you is dated January 15th, 2022. So we're talking about 13 years. That's called being top of mind. The work that I did 13 years ago laid the foundation, by the way. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been top of mind for her, right? I would not have been top of mind. Super, super powerful. What time do you need to leave? 4:30. Okay. So anyway, super powerful. That's why you need to be online, so you can be top of mind with people and they know what you're going to do. Any other, Lillian, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, so my question is on the stories, because I'm not consistent enough. Like I'll do it and then I'll whatever. Does it matter what you post or just break it up? So if I do like dogs, gardening, cooking,
Yeah,
it
same.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a thread, right? It doesn't have to be like all about health or all about whatever,
Better not to.
okay, so
You're just there. It's
just there.
you got your 5 things, right? You got your 3 to 5 things that are really important to you. And here's the thing with stories. I'm even less critical about my stories than I am about my posts. Like if we talk about what I put on my Instagram and Facebook stories, again, these disappear 24 hours. Right? But I'll tell you, as a side, one of the reasons I love stories so much is even if somebody doesn't comment or engage with the post, liking, loving, whatever, the platforms, IG and Facebook, they tell me who watched it, right? That's why it's so important, I think, to put multiple pages in your story so that you can see who's hanging around, right? I want to see who's tapping or waiting, right? In order to see the last page of my story, they either have to be willfully tapping to get to my next story instead of swiping. If somebody swipes, they swipe me off and it goes to the next person's story, right? If we're talking about a smartphone, a handheld device, somebody swipes, they didn't want to get, and they see I've got 20 pages on my story or 2 pages. They didn't want to see, they saw page 1 and they were done, right? 1 and done. What I want to see is I want to see the people who are willfully tapping to get to the next story or just waiting, right? Waiting the 10 to 15 seconds as page 1 displays, then to page 2, then to page 3. That's why sometimes I got, I might do a 2-minute, I might do a 1.5-minute video and do a couple of those and upload those. There might be 10 pages. Do you know, I think that's gold. You want to know who your raving fans are? The people who are there, the 30, I might have had 400 at the beginning, the 37 people who got to the last page of my story, right? And you know what? Some of my raving fans are in LifeVantage. Some of them are you, right? Some of them are people that don't buy anything from me and told me no. Right? So Lillian, to answer your question, just kind of do the same thing, but you can also be even a little more, almost just like stream of conscious. It's not like stuff that would never make one of my posts, probably, like I'm strolling in the grocery store. Hey, check this out. So I had to stop, blah, 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 just like even random stuff sometimes. Let it be easier, like ease yourself into your stories by not having to, make it perfect. Again, don't even do that with your other content. If you hate a post, you can always delete a post, right? But it's better to get something out there than not. And then some of that graduates, and I'll take that and put it into my timeline so it stays there forever, right? I mean, if I'm smart, you know what I'll do with this basketball post that I got all this, I'll take those 3 little pages and maybe I'll, it'll be a collage if I put them all separately, right, into Facebook posts. It'll be a picture and then a video and a video, or maybe I'll take a video editor and I'll make a reel out of it, right? If I want to do that, I'm not really feeling like I want to do that today, but I could spend 15 minutes, learn how to make a reel because I don't spend a lot making reels, but I should probably invest some time. I make a reel out of it that lasts for 30 seconds, right? Then I put that on Facebook because reels are big right now. And then I write a caption. Again, that's more work than my story was, but it's going to stay there forever. And then maybe that's where I tie it into, man, I got slammed on the basketball court today. It's a darn good thing that I'm taking, that I'm a biohacker. And I've got my recovery protocol, which I started last night. And I'm actually feeling pretty darn good, pretty doggone good today, right? Again, I don't even have to tie it into the business or the product, but if that's part of my lifestyle, then it could be, I'm rubbing NRF2 activated CBD True Science on my knee that was totally bruised for that, that game, or the, my lip, which has been just decimated. So it graduates from Facebook stories to my timeline. Is that helpful? That was for you, Lillian. But I think stories are powerful. I know people who are really building a lot on stories. Stories are very, very, very powerful. All right. Well, guess what we didn't get to? We didn't even get to the power of scripts, which, I mean, that's a whole discussion in and of itself. And that's why, again, you know what you'll probably see me do, you'll probably see us as a team, maybe later, maybe in the summer, we're going to revisit this class, right? We may revisit this class and you bring 3 people, the power of 3, right? Maybe 3, you know, make sure you get 3 people from your team to take this class with you now that you've seen the power. You know, I know I'm going to. Why? Because I'm going to double my recruiting by taking this class. So this week was all about being top of mind. What can you do to be top of mind? Make sure that you're on social media. Okay. If you're on one, make sure that you get on a platform. Okay. Next, make sure that you do better on that platform, right? Lillian talked about where she can be better. I talked about where I can be better. Okay. Make sure that you're following up with people, right? I think it was Florence La Roca mentioned, you know what? Use your CEO app, use your CEO Pro app and go to the list. I mean, goodness gracious, over the last 3 years now, I have 400 people who've engaged with some content, 365. You know what? Every single day I could reach out to stay top of mind with those people. In fact, I did this the other day, yesterday, I think some of my IPAs, I went to some people who are kind of cold in here or maybe lukewarm, right? Who aren't maybe progressing. And I reached out and gave them some content, right? Hey, it's been a while since we chatted. In fact, it was 2 athletes. They said they were interested, but they never did anything. How do I stay top of mind? Like here's what happens. You're top of mind and then life happens to people. And you start to get lost in the shuffle, not because you're not important, Richard, not because you didn't have something that could help that gentleman last year when you talked to him, but because you got lost in the shuffle and you know what? He didn't know what you even had. And it took him the last 7 months or 12 months and seeing your consistent posts to get back and to be prioritized to be top of mind again, right? And then he knew what you did and you were top of mind because of what you've been teaching here and there, salt and pepper, right? In your posts. And he's like, he had a bleeding neck. Here's the problem. You didn't know he had a bleeding neck and he didn't know that you could help him with his bleeding neck. So he had a bleeding neck, but he was wearing a turtleneck. And so you didn't know, okay? You didn't know. So I'm just following up with people constantly. Hey, I was thinking of you, Nate, one of my guys yesterday. Hey, just getting back to you. I hosted a call with a bunch of athletes. This was the friends and family athlete call that's in the app. That's what I used. I used that piece of content that's like, 9 months old. And I said, hey, I hosted a call or a web chat or a web meeting with some athletes who are activating and getting tremendous results. I'm passing this along, right? That's another way of staying top of mind with people, right? So any other questions, comments that you want to bring up before we wrap up this?
Yeah,
Huddle?
I
And
wanted
we
to
will get-
comment on this. I
Yes,
send
go.
a hi to keep up my awareness to somebody that reached out to me from Vancouver. And I meet him through the TBI group that posts on Facebook. And because of what I posted, he reached out to me. And we had already had a FaceTime call. So I send him the ABC prime time. He hasn't watched it, but I keep my awareness high. I invited him to a CEO meetup. And then he says, I cannot join. And this is last week. So this week I invited him again and I get an answer. I just said, hi, what's up? And then he answers like this. I don't have time for a call or I cannot talk. And I just posted my waving hand and I answered. I just said, I just wanted to know what you're at, what you've been doing. It was not intended for a call or whether you have seen the videos. And then Seth, he responds, I've been so busy with a Zoom that I'll be having virtual in regards to my deficiency, neurological deficiencies. And I said, oh, great. Wish you the best, blah, blah, blah. And it's happening Saturday. And then he sends me a question. can we do a Zoom now? And I'm like, Wait a minute. And it's almost 12 o'clock my time. First of all, I get a message again. Mindset Flow says, don't take it personally, because he's saying, I cannot join a call and I cannot join a Zoom meeting. And then he tells me that he's really busy. He sends me a post of what he's doing, and then I wish him the best. So then I get a question saying, can we meet now and do a Zoom call? And then I tell myself, posture, Flo. He knows that it's 12 o'clock at night in Puerto Rico, because you've already told your story. He's told you his story. So then I wanted to ask you, Seth, and what I answered was, oh, it's great, but it's midnight here. And you've been working really hard on what you'll be doing Saturday. Maybe we can talk tomorrow. Is that the right way to approach it? Or you would have just done the Zoom call?
Flo, you are the CEO, and I think
CEO.
you're in an amazing mindset. I don't think you can go wrong. I think, I think letting him know that you're too busy sometimes is a great thing, right? You can
Okay.
say, hey, you know what? I'm going. Okay, sorry. Hannah, the rabbit farmer, wanted to bring her rabbit in here because
Okay, let's see it.
these rabbits. There's one of the rabbits.
How
Super cute.
cute
Faye, that's for
that?
you.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful rabbit.
What's the name of the rabbit?
This one, she's a breed. Hannah breeds these, so she's got like 8 rabbits right now that she's selling.
Oh my God. Look.
Or that, I mean,
I love the nose.
some of you won't necessarily like. I mean, but these are protein, right? So that happens as well.
I need help. He's
You're great.
upside down.
Just grab him by the neck. Grab him by the neck. Sweetheart, I need to finish my meeting. Grab him by the neck. Okay. Yep, you got him. There you go. Awesome. You're awesome. Okay.
So where I was kind of, and I know we should not do this, doubting myself it's my posture. We already had a 3-way call. You told me your story. I told you mine, and you're interested in how I recovered. He comes from the TBI group that I'm in. Okay. I send you the ABC Primetime News Report, and I also send you, because we talk about brain mapping. So I send him also those 2. I'm not going to send him anything else. He has not taken a look at any of that. So again, I am nurturing, but I told myself it's midnight, Flo. It's time to go. So you let him know that, yes, we can talk. Maybe we can leave it for tomorrow. So, but you see, I'm still doubting myself. So I'm asking you whether I did right or wrong, because that's our mind. We don't believe in ourselves, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you a couple of stories, and I think you made the right decision, because the right decision is the decision you made. You're the CEO, and
Okay.
and why you made it. Okay.
Okay.
I once had a prospect that called me. I was doing some online marketing. This is back in 2007. Okay. And I had put up a landing page, and we were doing some SEO, and I ended up having this leader. This guy was a leader. Like, he went Pro 8 in 12 months. Okay. Ended up equivalent to Pro 8. It was not in Lycanage. He calls me he lives in East Coast time. He was in Atlanta, Georgia. And he calls me at like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night or something like that, and I was doing meetings or something. And I said, yeah, I'll call you back later, whatever. Anyway, we didn't end up talking till it was like midnight. Right. And I called him back or whatever. And he was so impressed. He was so impressed because he's like, wow, it's late. And I said, listen, it's never too late to make money. That was my mentality. Right now, maybe if I was desperate and I'm like, oh, I finally got somebody. Yes, I'll have to meet. It's part of it is what we do. Part of it is why and how we do it. Right. I called that leader back because, listen, I was recruiting big time people. I was launching a company, and it was always time for me to make money. I didn't care what time it was. And I ended up enrolling him, right? Became a big leader and did $250,000 of volume a month for my business, right? I'll tell you another funny story. This is from one of the biggest leaders I've ever known in the industry. He got a call one night late, like in the middle of the night from one of his team members, right? Downline, right? This guy's like presidential master pro 10, right? Beyond anybody we even have in LifeVantage right now. And he he got the call and the guy's like, hey, I'm so sorry. You know, he was asleep, by the way. The leader was asleep. He gets this call, answers his phone. And he's like, oh, hey, can I call you right back? You know, because I mean, he was groggy, but he kind of disguised his voice. Hey, can I call you right back? And his leader's like, yeah, thanks for calling me right back. Now, imagine why is a rising leader calling a leader right now? He's calling because he needs help. Who's hungry? This rising leader is hungry, right? This prospect may be hungry. They're a bleeding neck, right? So the big leader, he's like, oh yeah, just hold on a second. Let me call you right back. Kind of splashes water on his face or whatever, right? Gets his bearings, calls his rising leader back and says, hey, yeah, sorry about that. I was just in a meeting and just getting back to you. Now I don't condone that he lied. I don't condone that. I think it's a funny story. But his point was never let your team, this is kind of a mindset thing, never let your team see you sleep. never let them see you sleep. And so that the idea was, hey, it doesn't matter when it is. I'm working the business. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm doing a business. Now, again, I don't condone that he lied. I would never do that. But I'll tell you, if somebody's calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning, or like I was up at 6:30 this morning doing new distributor trainings for Filipino ladies, an insurance lady, a dentist, and a CPA. You want to talk about, am I attracting the type of people I'm wanting to attract, right? And that's not personally enrolled. That's on my second level, right? They know I'm up at 6:30 working. They know, I know that they're working at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 at night. If you know that I've got 12 appointments with big people today and you get 10 minutes with me, then you're going to take care of my 10 minutes, right? You're going to be honored. You're going to have a different mindset. Or if I say, hey, you're welcome to call me anytime, anything, my schedule is totally open. It's like, why is your schedule totally open? Right? So I think it's about the mindset that you have. And I don't think that there was, a wrong or right. You set your boundaries and that's okay. I mean, I could say, hey, listen, I've got 12 appointments. I've got one more I'm coming into. I'm booked today. You could say this, hey, I'd love to chat. I'm actually booked right now. My next opening is tomorrow, 10 a.m. Right. So again, I don't think there's a right or wrong, but I do think your mindset, don't doubt yourself. You're doing some. Florence, the fruits, by their fruits, you shall know them. The fruits are ripening on your ever expanding tree. And I'm an eyewitness to this. So don't doubt yourself.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anything else before we close this huddle? Okay. All right. I'm gonna invite you to continue to work on week 6 through the weekend. Okay. And we will go from there. Sound good?
Sound good. Seth, I know that Florence and David are here. There's a video that I couldn't find, and it's the proven plan video that you did the training. Where's that about? Is that in the CEO page, or is it
which the proven plan? Do you mean the proven new training? Is that the one?
Sorry, but I lost.
Do you mean the new proven plan training video, the 12-minute one?
Yes. Where do I find out?
I'm just copying. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on the CEO YouTube channel. I am going to drop it in right here. I just dropped it in.
Okay.
Into the chat box. And then the other video, there's a companion video. I think the MVP bonus is totally appropriate. And I think it's a companion video to that. So I just dropped both of those into the chat.
Okay, thank you.